Tom Cruise is more than a movie star. He is a cultural phenomenon whose name has become synonymous with spectacle, intensity, and cinematic ambition. For over 4 decades, he has dominated the global box office, redefining what it means to be an action hero and a leading man. Yet behind the dazzling smile, the fearless stunts, and the red carpet glamour lies a deeply human story, one shaped by fear, instability, and an unrelenting desire to overcome personal limitations. Cruise's journey is not simply a tale of fame and fortune, but a complex narrative of resilience and self-reinvention. From a troubled childhood marked by insecurity and learning difficulties to becoming one of the most bankable stars in film history, his life reflects a constant struggle to rise above pain. Understanding Tom Cruise requires looking beyond the myth to the man who refused to be defined by his past, and instead chose endurance, discipline, and belief in something greater than himself. A childhood defined by fear and instability, before Hollywood embraced him, Tom Cruise was a boy constantly uprooted, moving from place to place as his family searched for stability. This restless upbringing left him isolated, struggling to form lasting friendships and a sense of belonging. Compounding this instability was his battle with dyslexia, a condition that made reading and learning feel overwhelming and humiliating. Teachers often misunderstood him, and classmates saw him as different, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy. At home, life was no refuge. Cruise has spoken openly about his father's abusive behavior, describing an environment ruled by fear and emotional volatility. These early experiences shaped his worldview, instilling both deep insecurity and an intense drive to escape. Acting at first was not about fame, but survival, a way to reinvent himself and prove his worth. Finding control and identity through Scientology. As a young man searching for clarity and confidence, Tom Cruise encountered Scientology at a pivotal moment in his life. He was not yet a global icon, but an ambitious actor seeking something that could quiet his fears and sharpen his focus. Scientology presented itself as a system of self-mastery, offering tools to overcome trauma, insecurity, and perceived limitations. For Cruise, who had spent years feeling powerless, this promise was transformative. He believed the teachings helped him manage his dyslexia, improve his communication skills, and gain a sense of mental control. More than a belief system, Scientology became a foundation upon which he rebuilt his identity. It gave him structure, purpose, and a sense of belonging that had been missing since childhood. While controversial to outsiders, to Cruise, it represented empowerment. The meteoric rise to stardom. Tom Cruise's ascent in Hollywood was swift and undeniable. Films like Risky Business and Top Gun transformed him into a symbol of youthful confidence and cinematic charisma. Audiences were drawn to his intensity, his physical commitment, and the sense that he gave everything to his performances. As his career evolved, Cruise became known not just as an actor, but as a force behind the camera, deeply involved in production, storytelling, and spectacle. The Mission. Impossible franchise cemented his status as a global superstar, showcasing his willingness to perform dangerous stunts that few actors would attempt. Yet this rise came with immense pressure. Fame amplified every aspect of his life, including his personal beliefs and relationships. While professionally unstoppable, Cruise was navigating a growing divide between his public success and private challenges. Nicole Kidman and the cost of diverging worlds. The marriage between Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman once embodied Hollywood glamour and romance. They were talented, beautiful, and seemingly inseparable, a power couple admired worldwide. Together, they adopted 2 children and built a life that appeared stable and loving. However, beneath the surface, fundamental differences began to emerge. Cruise's deepening commitment to Scientology increasingly shaped his worldview and daily life, while Kidman remained distant from the belief system. Over time, this ideological divide created emotional distance. What once felt like partnership began to feel like separation within the same home. When their marriage ended in 2001, the public was shocked, but for Cruise the loss was deeply personal. It marked the collapse of a relationship that had symbolized emotional security amid fame. Public scrutiny and the Oprah moment. In 2005, Tom Cruise's carefully crafted public image unraveled in a matter of minutes. His appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, intended to promote a film and celebrate his relationship with Katie Holmes, became one of the most infamous moments in celebrity history. His exuberant couch-jumping display of affection shocked viewers and media alike. What some saw as unfiltered joy, others interpreted as instability. The backlash was immediate and relentless. Cruise was mocked, questioned, and portrayed as unhinged, with renewed focus on his association with Scientology. For the first time, his confidence became a liability rather than an asset. The incident marked a dramatic fall from grace, transforming him from Hollywood's golden boy into a subject of ridicule. Katie Holmes and A Quiet Escape. Tom Cruise's relationship with Katie Holmes initially seemed like a fresh start. Their romance unfolded under intense media attention, culminating in a lavish wedding and the birth of their daughter, Suri. For a time, Cruise appeared content, embracing fatherhood and projecting a renewed sense of happiness. However, as the years passed, the pressures of fame and his deep involvement with Scientology began to weigh heavily on the marriage. Holmes reportedly grew concerned about her independence and her daughter's future within that world. In 2012, she filed for divorce in secrecy, a move that stunned both Cruise and the public. Unlike previous breakups, this separation was swift and controlled, signalling Holmes's determination to protect herself and her child. For Cruise, it was another profound loss, one that also strained his relationship with Suri. The divorce reinforced a painful pattern. His personal life remained fragile, even as his professional life thrived. Redemption through work and risk. After his second high-profile divorce, Tom Cruise faced a crossroads. His reputation was bruised, his personal life fractured, and public perception remained divided. Rather than retreat, he turned inward, channeling his energy into his craft. Cruise doubled down on what he knew best: cinema. He committed himself to performing increasingly dangerous stunts, emphasizing authenticity and physical realism in his films. This dedication became his form of redemption. Each project was not just entertainment, but proof of discipline, control, and endurance. By risking his body, Cruise reclaimed his narrative, reminding audiences why they admired him in the first place. His work ethic set him apart in an industry increasingly reliant on digital effects. Through sheer persistence, he shifted the conversation away from controversy and back to craftsmanship. In doing so, Cruise reasserted his value, not as a tabloid figure, but as a filmmaker devoted to pushing boundaries and honouring the cinematic experience. Top Gun, Maverick, and the Power of Endurance. The release of Top Gun. Maverick marked one of the most triumphant chapters of Tom Cruise's career. At a time when Hollywood was dominated by franchises and superheroes, the film stood as a celebration of traditional blockbuster storytelling. Cruise, now in his 60s, trained extensively to fly real fighter jets, insisting on practical effects and immersive realism. The film's success was staggering, resonating across generations and reaffirming Cruise's star power. More than a sequel, it symbolized endurance, the idea that passion and commitment can outlast trends and time. Top Gun, Maverick restored faith in theatrical cinema and solidified Cruise's reputation as a guardian of the movie-going experience. It proved that controversy and age had not diminished his appeal. Instead, they had sharpened it, turning him into a symbol of perseverance in an industry constantly chasing the next new thing. Conclusion: a legacy beyond perfection. Tom Cruise's legacy is not built on flawlessness, but on resilience. His life and career reflect a man continually striving to overcome fear, loss, and public judgment. He has been celebrated, mocked, admired, and criticized, often all at once. Yet, through every rise and fall, Cruise has remained committed to his craft and his belief in the power of cinema. His story is one of endurance over ease, of persistence over surrender. Rather than allowing personal pain or public controversy to define him, he transformed them into fuel. Today, Tom Cruise stands as more than an action hero. He is a testament to the idea that greatness is not the absence of struggle, but the refusal to give up. In a changing Hollywood, his journey reminds us that belief in oneself, in storytelling, and in the human spirit can still defy the odds.